And God said, Behold, I have given you every herb-bearing seed. To you it shall be for food. Genesis 1:29. Man did eat angels' food. He sent them meat to the full. Psalm 78:25. Everyday Manna with Lisa.
Hi everybody, and welcome to Everyday Manna. On today's program, we're going to be doing desserts, and we're going to make two different kinds of desserts. We're going to make a lemon curd tart with a sugar cookie dough crust. Then we're going to be making a chocolate mint tart with a chocolate chip crust, and it's going to be so very good. And we're going to start by preheating our oven to 350 degrees. I'm using today these little tart pans. Now, if you've never seen these, we've got two different recipes that you could, by all means, for this one, you could use the big tart pan like this. But I only have one tart pan. So we're going to use the little individual tart pans. If you've never seen these, they have the little removable bottoms so that when it's cooked, you can just lift it right out of there and you don't have to fool with trying to get, you know how you try to get a piece of pie out of the pan and that first one's so hard? Well, this eliminates all of that. So we've got 6 of our little tart pans. We're going to spray them with a cooking spray that has the flour in it, the baking spray that you can get right beside the cooking spray, but this particular one has flour in it and it's for baking. And as you can see, it just kind of puts a little coating on the individual little tart pans. And you want to make sure that you get the edges really well, because that's what you want to release. Make sure you get the edges of the tart pan really well. And so therefore, there you go. And you can also get this, I don't know if you've tried it or not, but in a butter flavor. And sometimes that's very good. We have just one roll of sugar cookie dough that you can get in the dairy department of any grocery store out there. And we're going to roll this out just a little bit. We've got some powdered sugar that we're going to just put on our board. This is not flour, it's powdered sugar, because we're working with a sweet dough. And we're going to just kind of break our dough into, little pieces here, because we're going to just roll it out to fit into those tart pans. You want to make sure you leave this out for, say, 20 or 30 minutes before you try to roll, because it will be too difficult if you don't. And you don't have to worry about getting it exactly the same size, because you're going to press it in there. This just kind of helps with the pressing process. So we just got one little, and we're going to take our little tart pan. Let me move that out of the way. And we're just going to put it in there and just push it down in to fit. Okay? You just want to cover the pan and all the way up the sides. And as you can tell, the tart pan has a sharp edge on the top, and that just allows you to push away the excess dough. And there you go, your own little individual little tart pans. And you can patch as you need to with some extra sugar dough if you want to. We're just going to roll these out. You can use the scraps. It's not a problem. And just roll them out. I love sugar cookies. And this is just, lemon desserts are probably my favorite. If I had to choose between chocolate and lemon, it would probably be lemon. Some friends of ours years ago showed me this recipe that's for what they call a lemon delight, and we'll make that together one day. But it's got a nut crust with a lemon pudding and cream cheese, and it is so scrumptious and good. And that's one of those things that if it's in my refrigerator, that's what's for breakfast the next morning, because I just love it so much. It's delicious. You can do it with a graham cracker crust too. You could do this with a graham cracker crust if you wanted to. If you didn't want to use the sugar dough, the sugar cookie dough, you could, by all means, just get some graham cracker crumbs and crunch those up and mix with just a little bit of sugar, and just press that butter and sugar and press that in the bottom of these pans. You could do that too, and it would be delicious, because graham crackers go with anything. So we're just going to roll out our doughs here. We're going to fill up our tart pans, and it's going to be so good. We're just going to get these rolled, then we're going to put them in a 350-degree oven for about 10 minutes or so until the dough, you know how you can tell cookies, when you bake cookies, how they just kind of get golden brown? It's the same thing with this. You're just making a cookie that's rolled out, a sugar cookie that's rolled out and in a pan, but you want to bake them at about 350 for about 10 minutes or until it's golden brown. And like I said, if you've got a little piece like I just had right here, you can patch as you need to. This is not like working with a pie pastry. You know how sometimes when you work with a pie pastry and it will get, if you continue to roll the scraps, it kind of gets tough. Well, this is not like that. And you can re-roll as much as you need to. I need to add just a little bit more sugar. Add your powdered sugar to your board so that, you know, it works, just helps it to work a little bit easier. And roll your sugar dough out. We're going to make a filling today of lemon. We're going to use lemon curd, which you can get in any store out there. And we're going to use lemon pudding, the instant lemon pudding. We're going to mix those together, and we're going to make a beautiful filling for this, and then we're going to top it really decoratively with some strawberries. I got to take a quick break. When I come back, we're going to make the filling. I'm just going to continue to roll out these tart pans and fill them up. When I come back, we're going to make the filling. I'll be right back with you in just a minute. Hey, and welcome back. Our tart shells with the sugar cookie dough are in the oven at 350 degrees. They take about 8 to 9 minutes until they're just like a cookie, just till they're kind of golden, and then we're going to pull those out and let them cool. In the meantime, we're going to make our filling. We have one package of the instant lemon pudding, and we're going to add 3/4 of a cup of milk to that, and we're just going to beat that slowly until all of that's incorporated. And lemon is one of my favorites. Like I said, it just is so bright and clean and just fresh tasting, and I love it. And we're going to add some lemon curd to this. Now, I don't know if you've ever tried lemon curd, but you can make it yourself, but it's just as easy to go buy in the grocery stores, and it's over there. Sometimes it's with the jellies and the jams, but most of the time it's over there with the baking supplies, you know, where you can get the flour and the sugar and the things like that, and then where they have the pie fillings, the apple pie, cherry pie, whatever. You can get lemon curd. It comes in a jar just like this. It's very tart. It's just delicious. This is very good spread on like an English muffin for breakfast, a toasted English muffin. We're going to add about half of this to it's kind of thick, as you can see. We're going to add about half of this jar, and this is a 10-ounce jar. So we're going to just say, 5 ounces of the lemon curd. It's just very thick and delicious. It's kind of like a jam. We're going to add the zest. We're going all out with the lemon. We're going to add the zest of 1 lemon just straight into the bowl. And then we're going to fill these little tarts. When they come out, when that cookie dough cools down, we're just going to fill it with this delicious filling. You could, like I said, you could make this in one big tart pan if you wanted to. I just am doing 2 different desserts today for the program, and I just had one big, so I thought, well, we'll just make little minis, and it'll be pretty that way anyway. So we're just going to add the zest of 1 lemon. We don't need the juice, just the zest. Save that for another purpose. And you just kind of want to mix your lemon curd in with your lemon pudding. You can do this with a spoon, or, like I'm going to do right now, use your mixer. And just kind of blend that together. Because the curd is much thicker than the pudding, so you want to make sure that you get that all the way incorporated. And you want to make sure that you get all that zest worked in there. And that is our lemon curd filling for our tarts. And now we're going to start our chocolate mint tart. Now in my food processor I have 2.5 cups of these little chocolate teddy bears that we can get in our snack cracker aisle. You could use the chocolate graham crackers. You just want something chocolate. You can get chocolate vanilla wafers sometimes, and you can use those. Anything that's a chocolate cookie. Now you would not want to use like the Oreo cookies that have the cream filling, just any solid chocolate cookie. In my pan here, I'm going to melt about 3 tablespoons of butter, because we've got to have something to hold that together. And so we're going to add about 3 tablespoons, if I can get that off there, of our butter. And we're just going to melt that down in a small skillet here. While that's melting, let me go ahead and process. Now you're going to process this very fine. You want to make a crust is what you're doing for our tart pan. So hold your hand over your little hole. Now this makes a lot of noise, bear with me, but we want to pulse this and we want to just chop up our cookies to where they're very, very fine. Yeah, let's see how that, I think that's looking good. Yeah, let's give it one more little quick pulse because you want it to be very, very fine. Ooh, that right there would be so good over vanilla ice cream. Just sprinkle that over some ice cream, would be so yummy. So our cookie crumbs are all chopped up very fine. Our butter is melting. Now what we're going to do is we're going to make a crust for our tart. Now we have one large tart pan that remember these have the removable bottoms, and we've lined a baking sheet with parchment paper. That's so that if any juices escape, probably won't with this one, then it won't make a mess on your pan. You don't have to line your baking sheet. We're going to spray our tart pan, remember, with our baking spray that has the flour in it. And we're just going to add our butter to our little cookie crumbs. Now let's pulse that in there real quick. And that just kind of makes it a little bit moist to where it will, when you put it in your tart pan, it'll stay there. So let's get that out of the way. Let's move our tart pan here and just pour this in. Be careful with the blade of your food processor. You don't want to cut yourself. And they are very sharp. And you're just pressing this in the bottom of your tart pan. And you want to kind of go up the sides just a little bit. Just kind of work your cookie crumbs to where you're covering the bottom of your pan. These little crusts like this are so easy to do, and they're so delicious. And you could use, anything that you wanted. You could use plain graham crackers, but because we're making a chocolate tart, I wanted to use the chocolate cookie crumbs. And as you can see, we've just pressed that in and kind of up a little bit on our sides of our tart pan. So we've got that done. Now what we have done is we have melted we've got 1 cup of heavy cream with about a 1/2 cup to 3/4 of a cup of just chocolate chips. And we just melted that in the microwave for just a second. Let me grab a spatula to where it's just very, very thin. And we're going to just sort it. Now, be careful with your cookie crumbs because remember, you don't bake this. So you just kind of want to pour your chocolate on the bottom of your cookie. This is the bottom base layer of your tart. You could use milk chocolate. That's what I used today, was milk chocolate. You could use your white chocolate if you wanted to. You could use the bittersweet chocolate, German chocolate. You could use the real dark chocolate that's out there now. And you can use whatever kind of chocolate you like. And you just want to kind of smooth this out, being very, very careful with this layer because your cookie crumbs are there, and you don't really want to disturb them. You will a little bit. That's just completely unavoidable. But just try to be as gentle as you can and spread your chocolate out as evenly as you can on your cookie crust. Now, we need to refrigerate this for just a few minutes and let that chocolate kind of set up. And when I come back, we're going to finish making the rest of the filling. We're going to chill this for about 5 minutes or so in your freezer just to set that chocolate. And then when we come back, we're going to finish this one. We're going to fill our little lemon curd tarts, and we are just going to have a feast of desserts today. We'll be back in just a little bit. We're going to make the rest of the filling for the chocolate tart. Remember, we've got our cookie crumb crust with our chocolate ganache type mixture over it, and it has been in the refrigerator. It's nice and cold. I've got about 3 tablespoons of milk and about a tablespoon or so of sugar, and I'm going to add 1 block of cream cheese, just regular cream cheese that you can get in any store out there, and we're going to whip this together. I'm using a tall-edged bowl because you know how sometimes this gets a little bit messy. Let's turn it all the way up. We just want to beat it until the cream cheese is smooth. And I love cream cheese. It is so good for a pie filling. If you've never tried it, it just makes wonderful cheesecakes. But you can also make, other kinds of desserts with it. And it tastes good. It is such a good medium for other things. And then we're going to add some chocolate. We melted about 1/4 cup or so of chocolate chips. Just melted them with about a tablespoon or so of whipping cream. And you could use milk or whipping cream, whichever you have. And we're going to just get all that delicious chocolate out of there. I hear my camera lady going, Sarah loves chocolate, so she's a happy person today. And we're just going to fold in that chocolate into our cream cheese. Get that whipped in there. Really good. And then we're going to add, if I can find my little, there we are, about 1/2 cup of chopped up Andes candies. You know what I'm talking about, these little green mints, but now you can get them in your baking section already chopped for you. And we're just going to add those in there and get all of that incorporated. And it just makes this wonderful mousse-like filling for our delicious little mint here. Then we're going to take our tart. We're going to just smooth this, kind of fold it and make sure you get all the little edges. And we're going to just pour this into our tart pan with a little rubber spatula. Get all of that delicious chocolate mousse type filling out of there. You could add any kind of chocolate that you like to this particular filling. I just used semi-sweet chocolate chips, but you by all means could add whatever kind of chocolate you like. And then smooth that out. The chocolate mints, the little Andes candies, just add a delicious flavor to to the mousse, and it's just, I love them. You know, the little after dinner mints that a lot of restaurants will give you. They cleanse your palate. And so there's our filling. Now this needs to go into the refrigerator for just a couple of minutes, and when we bring it back out of the refrigerator, we're going to put in a whipped cream topping over top. But let's move on to our tart fillings, our lemon tart. Remember, we did our lemon tarts. So these are our little tart fillings, our little tart shells, actually. Let me move some of this stuff out of my way. These are our little tart shells that we baked off. Remember, our little sugar cookie crust. And we just let those bake and cool. And we made our lemon filling. Let's take those out of the baking dish here. Get that out of our way. And we've got our lemon filling, which is a lemon pudding and the lemon curd mixed together. And we're just going to fill our little shells. Okay, now we've got our lemon filling, and we're just going to spoon a little bit into each little tart pan and just kind of fill that in with your lemon pudding and your lemon curd. Remember, that's what's in this, is lemon pudding with some lemon curd. And we just mixed that together with the zest of one lemon. And then we've got some beautiful strawberries here. And what I did was I just sliced them. And we're just going to fan out the little strawberries on the top. Let's just save that one for a snack. The little egg slicer, if you have one of these at home, is a perfect little strawberry slicer. Take off the green of your strawberry, and there you go. And you end up with all kinds of little strawberry pieces, and it's just so much easier than slicing them. So we just slice up some of those, the strawberries, and we'll put those on top of the tarts. Let's just place those on there. How pretty, just want it to be pretty. You could use raspberries on this if you wanted to. You could use blueberries. Blueberries would be delicious on this with the lemon. Let's do one more little strawberry here. And just one more little piece right there. Then we're going to take a dollop of whipped cream, our Cool Whip. We're just going to add a little dollop of Cool Whip on top. Let me grab my Cool Whip real fast over here. And we're just going to add just a dollop of the Cool Whip. You could whip your own whipping cream if you wanted to. That would be delicious too. If I can get this off of there, it's wanting to stick on me. I think that's the hardest I've ever had it to stick. Let me grab a spoon and put just a little tiny bit of Cool Whip on the top of your little tarts. And then cover that with a little teeny strawberry. And there you go. There's a beautiful little tart. We'll finish making these up later. Let's finish our chocolate tart. We want to take our Cool Whip, and you just want to spread it out. Now remember, this has been in the refrigerator, so you want to make sure that it's nice and cold. And then just take your Cool Whip. You'll need about a whole container, and just kind of spread that out over top of your finished tart. Or you could whip your own heavy whipping cream if you wanted to. That's completely up to you. And then you want to take a chocolate bar. You know, you just can't have too much chocolate, in my opinion. You want to take a chocolate bar with just a vegetable peeler, go down the side, and it just makes these beautiful little chocolate shavings. Just shave off your chocolate. I'm using a dark chocolate bar here because that's just happens to be what I like. I just love that dark chocolate. And then you want to take your little chocolate sprinkles, and you just want to sprinkle that on the top of your tart. And there is a chocolate mint tart. Enjoy!
Thank you for watching Everyday Manna with Lisa. This program is made possible by viewers like you. Your support is continually needed to keep Christian programming on the air. Please send your best financial gift to Living Faith Television in care of Everyday Manna, P.O. Box 1867, Abingdon, Virginia 24212.